Good afternoon. My name is John Paul Ferrer. We are still celebrating the Filipino History Month, and I have another guest today. And I'd like to introduce to you the VP of the International Society of Filipinos in Finance and Accounting, Paula Arnedo.
Good afternoon, JP.
Yeah, welcome. So, the Filipino Restaurant Week that we've been celebrating during the month of October, Filipino American History Month started October 1st, and it's still going on. So what I'd like to do now is actually talk about the events that's been happening throughout the month.
Yes. So from October 6th, we launched the Filipino Restaurant Week, first ever here in Chicago. And it's been ongoing, and we've extended it until October 27th at 1:30 p.m.
Why extend it? So what's going on?
Well, initially we had it from October 6th to October 21, and we've gotten positive feedback from people, and we of course considered extending it, and that's why we just extended it until October 27th, which is also our block party.
Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about this restaurant week. So what's the incentive of people actually going to these restaurants and trying out the Filipino food?
So overall, there's 22 participating restaurants, and 13 of those people can dine in and get stamps for every special Filipino Restaurant Week menu ordered. So per visit, they would get a stamp, and then that stamp will be equivalent to raffle tickets that they can claim on October 27 at our block party.
Perfect. So where's this block party at?
So it will be at 627 East Button Road, Bolingbrook, Illinois.
Perfect. And it looks like you do have some MCs there.
Yes.
Now let's talk a little bit about the grand prize. I'm interested about that grand
Yes,
prize.
yeah. So, of course, to attract people, we have 2 round-trip tickets to the Philippines, a value of up to 1,400. And we have MCs Girly Pascual and Lucky Siap.
Okay, so basically, they go eat at these restaurants,
Yep.
get their stamps.
Yes.
And then they exchange these tickets on Sunday.
Yes.
And then they get raffle tickets.
Yep.
And then you'll draw the grand prize.
And on top of the round-trip tickets, consolation prizes include gift certificates from participating restaurants and other
Perfect.
raffle prizes. Yep.
So obviously, this is the first ever Filipino Restaurant Week in Chicago.
Yes.
So a little history from the last session. We talked about how New York, San Francisco, and LA have had it.
Yep.
And this is the first time that it's ever coming here to Chicago.
Yes.
So Filipino food. Let's show in the screen a little bit about the food that are available, and maybe you can enlighten us what they look like.
Sure.
So there's this mouse here that I'm going to be pointing at. So let's talk a little bit about some of the meals on the screen here.
Yeah.
Like this one in particular. I don't know if you could see this pork. So this is the liempo.
Yes.
Isn't that right? Have you had the liempo before?
Yes, it's very crispy. It's pork belly actually that's deep fried, and it's crispy. The skin is so crispy, and it's really good.
So there's a story that I've been telling people a lot that, if you ever work with a Filipino or a Filipina,
Yeah.
that there's this one dish that a lot of our moms or even us have offered to them, and it's always a hit,
Yeah.
without a doubt. So why don't you tell me about the egg roll, this one right here.
Of course, it's the Philippines' famous appetizer. It's the egg roll or the lumpia. It's the lumpia wrapper basically filled with stuffings. It could be pork or vegetables or anything you could stuff it in, but it's usually pork and some vegetables in it. And then it's deep fried, and people love it. It's like our pika pika.
Pika pika.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty catchy.
Yes.
So breakfast, right? There are 2 breakfast items that I'm showing the audience right now. So this one in particular, it looks like it's a steak and some eggs on top.
Yes, yes. So that's, I believe, a combination of fried rice and then the meat or the beef and then some sides.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one is pretty exotic looking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So clearly it's some sort of fish.
Yes, it's our traditional breakfast. So we call it bang silog, which is short for bangus, which is the Philippines' milkfish, and then the sinangag, which is the fried rice, and then the itlog, which is, of course, the eggs.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So speaking of food, we're actually going to have a chef here from a
that's
local
exciting.
restaurant
Yeah.
that's going to talk to us about the the fried rice
Yeah.
meal and how it's
Sounds
made.
good, yeah.
So that's perfect. So what else is going on that day?
Well, there's gonna be so many surprises for the Filipinos or anyone who's attending the block party. So there's gonna be the Sama Sama project, the performances there, and then we have salsa dancing
Wow.
at 3:30.
So what time is this entire event?
It's from 1 to 4 p.m.
1 to 4, and then
Yes.
salsa dancing at 3:30.
Yes, yes.
So is this before or after they announce the grand prize?
This will be before they announce the grand prize.
Got it. So
Yes.
there's more to do than just waiting for a raffle,
Yes,
correct?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Will there be food or drinks
Well,
available?
food and drinks are for purchase inside the restaurant.
Okay, perfect. So one thing that I actually brought in the clip, I know this is the first ever Filipino restaurant week in Chicago. So I know you've been making rounds trying to promote
Yeah.
this, getting interviews on TV. But this one in particular, this are, after you've had a great hearty meal, you do
Yeah.
have dessert.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about this dessert?
So there's actually this like really close bakery by me where I live. So I've been having ube cupcakes since like Saturday.
And that's
like
the
the past
purple-
weekend, and those are the ube cupcakes, and they are the Philippines. It's a Philippines root crop. So ube is a root crop, and
Okay.
it's that color purple, and it's very tasty. They make it into like different kinds of desserts, and this one is a cupcake.
What about these two? That sounds like a good
Oh, that
combination.
is mais con hielo. So that's basically sweetened corn with ice and evaporated milk.
So yellow is ice.
Yes,
in the
so that's
Philippines?
perfect for summer in the Philippines.
So have you had this combination before?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Sounds good. So next time maybe you can bring us some.
For
'Cause
sure.
We do have a chef, and if you can see on the camera, we absolutely have some ingredients that we'll be discussing in a
Yeah,
little bit.
next time.
All right, so Sama Sama Project, let's talk about a little bit about them. I know Sama Sama Project is a local band, and they're a folk fusion band. So what they do is take these original Filipino music, they call OPM, and they actually do their own twist to it. So they're the main act
Yes.
during the
Yep,
presentation.
yep.
And have you seen them perform?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes. I
So
do.
we're going to show the audience exactly what they sound like. And the song that I picked is actually a Tagalog song that's very popular and romantic. So I'm going to go ahead and cut away and show you the film. And then when we get back, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Chef Christine and talk about the adobo fried rice. So thank you again, Paula.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. And let's go ahead and play this video. Soon as I can pull it up here. There we go. So folks, that was Sama Sama Project with the lead singer Luella Caballona, and her husband Baron Caballona is the musical director. So we're back, and I want to welcome Chef Christine Morales with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Chef, we were just talking about food. So
Yes.
obviously, we have some ingredients here, and you're going to show us exactly what you have prepared for us. So I'm looking forward to that. And by the way, it smells really good here right now. So a little bit of history. Tell us more about yourself and your experience and what
Well, I
got
was
you.
born and raised in Chicago by way of Guagua, Pampanga.
Wow.
So I was raised there with a bunch of cooks, a bunch of titas and
Wow.
lolas. So I picked up the passion for food.
Okay.
And one of the things that's why we were so happy about Filipino Restaurant Week is because Filipinos haven't been highlighted in the Midwest yet as a
Right.
beautiful cuisine. And to me, Filipino food is a medley of all things that the Philippines is about. And I believe food speaks to culture, and it's a good understanding for people to have of what is Filipino.
Right. How old were you when you moved here?
I was 9 years old
Wow.
in second grade, so
And then since then, you've had the passion for cooking food?
Since then, food has been the staple of our household, sitting in family dinners, family get-togethers, and a couple of the dishes that I like are things that came out of Mom's kitchen, but as a
Wow.
medley.
What are those?
For example, the adobo fried rice.
Okay, so we'll talk about that next. So that's the question, right? Part of the reason of why we have the Filipino Restaurant Week is not only to recruit Filipinos to try a different take, which is what your take is of an adobo fried rice, but to also let the other Chicagoans to know about Filipino food.
Absolutely.
So if they haven't eaten or tasted any, they might be, some people are naturally always trying new things, but some of them might actually take a little bit of convincing.
Right.
So if they were going to come to your restaurant, what's the first thing, what would you recommend them they try out?
Well, one of the dishes that I love is this adobo fried rice. It's
Okay.
one of our top sellers. Another one would be our pancit canton. I believe every region in the Philippines does pancit a little bit
Right.
differently. So this was our take from how we had pancit, the Kapampangan way, which was with the canton noodles and the sausage. So we do a little Spanish take on it as well.
Perfect. So the provinces in the Philippines, we have different provinces all throughout the Philippines. We're a big island, and each of them, obviously, as she just said, actually have a different take on the way they prepare food. So why don't we go ahead and show
Sure,
what you
absolutely. I'd
prepared or
love to.
brought to us. I'm bringing up the camera, the overhead camera. So this particular piece of protein.
So this is adobo pork belly. We use Berkshire pork belly, and we braise it for at least 4 to 5 hours, and we do them in big batches.
Wow.
And we do serve it just like that, just a couple slices of adobo pork belly with a side of rice. So it's braised in adobo sauce.
Okay.
Now, adobo sauce is basically what this adobo sauce is made out of: soy sauce, vinegar,
Wow, that looks very juicy.
yeah, and sugar and bay leaves and salt and pepper. And adobo has become a Filipino staple. It's
yes.
very recognized, and I think it's came out of necessity too in the
Yeah,
Philippines.
yeah.
So
what are some of the other ingredients? So you're doing adobo fried rice, is that correct?
yes, so we take this pork belly all cut up, and then we cube it, which you can see right over here. And then we use last night's rice
Okay.
for the fried rice.
I'm gonna just move this to make sure that we can,
Oh,
the
absolutely.
audience can see these ingredients that you have here.
And then it's basically starting out like a sinangag, which is the garlic fried rice, which you make in the morning for breakfast with a lot of different proteins that you have.
Does it have to be an old rice or?
I like the day-old rice better.
Okay.
It actually fries up a lot better, and it's a little bit drier, so your fried rice isn't wet when you make
Okay.
it. Because if you use fresh rice, it tends to be a little more wet.
Wow.
So
So a little tip from her, from Chef Christine, right? Use a day-old rice.
Day-old
Yeah,
rice,
yeah, yeah.
yes.
So what else do you have there?
so then we start out with the garlic.
Okay.
We heat that up with some oil, and then we throw in some green onions, and then heat up our pork belly together.
Okay.
Little salt and pepper, and then we put in our rice. And then your preserved adobo sauce, which I have already prepared here,
Wow.
from the braised liquid. There's just a braising liquid, and then you just heat that all up together and stir it up, and then here is your finished product, and I did it with a fried egg.
Look at that.
So then you just, before you serve it, you just hit it up with a little bit of that adobo sauce on top, and there you go.
So you said, if you're gonna try out a Filipino food, ask for adobo fried rice,
Adobo
correct?
fried rice,
So
yes.
I said earlier that an egg roll, Filipino lumpia egg roll, and also the pancit canton are the two most popular ones
Yes.
that moms, or at least I have, I wouldn't say bribed, but shared with my coworkers, and it's always a hit.
Always a hit.
Right.
And it's a celebration too.
Right.
I think there's no Filipino party that's complete without your lumpia and your
Yeah.
fun sides.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for stopping by. This is
Absolutely,
definitely
thank
a
you.
great thing. You know, if you're in a Filipino restaurant, please try out, ask for an adobo fried rice, and maybe you'll run into Chef Christine Morales.
Yes.
So thank you for your
absolutely.
time.
Thank you so much for having
Thank you.
me.
And that's all the time we have. So we'll go ahead and film some in the future, but in the meantime, you still have time to go to Bolingbrook and actually enjoy and try to, for a chance to win a grand prize ticket. There are other prizes that they're going to raffle off, but at the very least, try out the fried rice adobo. The restaurant in Bolingbrook are serving that day. And also, you can certainly try to win a round-trip ticket to the Philippines. So my name is John Paul Ferrer, and until next time.